Okay, there should be like 2 meetings and I need to mute one of them. I'll let you.
Very.
Okay, we should be all set because I can see us. All right, I think that's it. Oh. That.
Good. We're on. Good evening. Today is March 11th, 2025. It's a little past 6 o'clock in the evening. This meeting of the Board of Health, Town of Northborough, is now called to order. My name is Glenn French, and I am the chairman of the Board of Health. Members of the public who wish to view the live stream or the recording of this meeting may do so by going to Northborough Remote Meetings on YouTube. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Members. Sawati Sane.
Present.
We have Dilip Jain.
Present.
We have Lisa Bennett Johnson.
Present.
And my name is Glenn French.
Perfect.
Good.
And we have Isabella, myself, we have Chris, and then we have Caitlin, our new
Excellent.
social worker.
Welcome.
Welcome, Caitlin.
So
Oh, we're gonna go right into that.
perfect.
Introduction to the social worker, Caitlin Mitchell.
So Caitlin, I'll take it away if you want to do a little introduction of your background and your, month and a half here so far.
Yeah, it's been a month and a half. Yeah, so hi, my name is Caitlin Mitchell. I am a licensed social worker. Kind of my background is I got my social work degree from Salem State University. I graduated in 2023. I did previously work for a mental health agency, Riverside Community Care, for about 6 years. And then I kind of took a little break from mental health, and I worked at my last job as a community resource specialist for affiliated pediatric practices. Basically, I worked with a lot of pediatric practices, helping find resources for families and parents, just to help them out based on their SDOH needs, so social determinants of health. So basically, if they needed food resources, housing, you name it, there was a lot of resources that were needed. Yeah, so just a little information of kind of like my month and a half of working here. I'm kind of getting to know different municipals and kind of what they're doing. Working on programming. We are having a book club next month that I'm kind of hosting, Words to Wellness. So just a little promotional plug, self-help book club. And then, eventually doing more mental health programming in the future with all ages. So younger kids, and also eventually starting to work on building up for counseling, short-term counseling services. So been doing a lot of work and then helping assist with anybody who's coming into town that needs anything. So helping out Liz, the outreach coordinator. So yeah, that's been kind of my month and a half here. And yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing working and meeting everybody in town. So that's me.
Wonderful.
Thank
And
you.
you're doing social work hours at
Oh,
library.
yeah, I forgot about that. I am starting, there's so much going on. I am starting a drop-in social work hours starting on April 8th. So I will be at the library in the teen and adult program room, basically walk in, offering any mental health services, referrals. If somebody has something else that comes in, they can come in. It's gonna be from 3 to 5. So that's another big thing that I'm doing next month. So looking forward.
Well,
Yeah, so it will probably be like every Tuesday.
And will the schools be advertising that?
So
that the teens are.
that's a good question. So we actually today set up a meeting with all the Northborough elementary schools, so to offer our services and kind of start that communication. So, yes.
Yeah, we're working.
Not yet, but yes.
Yeah, eventually we do wanna hope to work with the schools and.
Like different like lunch groups and after school activities.
Mhm.
All of
Yeah.
that.
We are kind of working towards trying to work with rec to build some after-school program, or like mostly girl empowerment group. So that's kind of the focus for the fall, so it's gonna take some time. Of course, to build. So
I'll be busy.
Yeah, they're keeping me busy,
Yeah.
can't complain.
now, Caitlin, when you say we, who you
Um,
decide yourself?
So besides myself, probably partnering with somebody at least for the girls group, probably partnering with, like an art teacher or somebody within the community to kind of work. I'll be a mental health person, and it's better sometimes to have two people with a big group versus one, not only for group management, but also to have two supports going at the same time. So collaboration is always good. And plus like bringing new ideas, like I might have good ideas, but it's also good to have somebody else to bounce off of. Eventually I hope independently to do some probably one-off workshops or different programming within the community by myself, but we're working on kind of planning that programs as we go. So
You have a list of mental health providers that are taking new patients and seeing them in a timely fashion. In the real world, it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't happen that way, unfortunately. I wish it does.
But we do, so through the, obviously now we have two budgets that I manage, but through the Family and Youth Service budget, since 2021, we've had a contract with Interface. So it's through William James College. So we basically pay in. Northborough residents can call the phone number and then get hooked with a mental health clinician within, they say 2 to 3 weeks. And I've actually called with another individual and it works pretty quickly. So it's a real, warm handoff. They try to match you with your insurance, which as we know is very important, as well as try their best with in-person versus remote. There's a lot more remote options right now. But that is a contract that is ongoing. And the biggest referral right now is the schools, which is very cool.
However, if someone from the town wanted to take advantage of that program, how do they?
Yeah, so we have resources everywhere. It's just a phone number. So it's on our website and they can come into town hall. And then all of our outreach events, we have our little postcard.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's been a great partnership. And it's really helpful. Yeah.
Renewed every year.
Yes, it is. And it's really helpful. Southborough has the same contract, so that's why the high school, we can, really partner with that as well.
That's good.
Great companies there.
Because otherwise access is a nightmare.
yes, it's really hard right now, and we don't have enough providers to help with the demand.
Right. And I think that's a lot of residents and across the state, probably the country, they're really looking for in-person services. But after COVID, rent increases, people are shifting to remote options, which is fine for maybe an adult, but a kiddo looking for services, that's a lot
Should be
harder.
one.
Yeah, and like eventually we do hope to do the short-term counseling. That's one of my goals that I'm working on and building and kind of building that structure. But again, it would only be for short-term option. We do want to eventually transition people to longer therapy options because I don't have the man capacity with everything that I know I want to do on top of just counseling
And the
services.
problem doesn't go away.
It doesn't go away.
It doesn't go away.
It's increasing sustainability and long-term support.
Yeah.
So, again, our mission of this department is really public health, so really community-driven. So spending all of our time doing one-on-one counseling doesn't really might meet our mission.
No, but We're working on it.
Yeah.
We're building stuff, so a couple exciting things to look forward to starting next month.
Good.
Well, thanks, Caitlin, and
Thank
we
you.
won't be offended if you try to speak up.
Well, thank you for having me.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks. All right, I've been wondering about the great boroughs partnership for
A new
health.
partnership.
How's the update?
So I wanted to share that we, as you know, a four-town partnership, actually received a Mass Municipal Award. It's called the Kenneth Pickard Municipal Innovation Award. So it's really our, regional partnership advancing health equity. So that was announced in January, and we're really excited. Just sharing the good work that our partnership has been doing, continues to do so. So just wanted to share that, but other than that,
Congratulations.
thank you. We're still doing all of the same things, home wellness checks, food inspections, health, all of the good stuff. So yeah, continue to do great things with
Is
that
the name
partnership.
Great Boroughs or
It's
Greater?
Greater.
Okay.
No, it's a typo.
Maybe they changed it on the last
Exactly.
one.
Change the name on
No,
us.
it's Greater Boroughs.
Okay.
Yeah, and we still meet collaboratively with the four towns, so it's been a great ongoing partnership.
Where is the award?
It's upstairs, actually. It's
Uh-huh.
framed in our office.
Very
Sean
nice.
from DPW put it up there, and we also got a CDC award for the DFC Encompass Coalition. So it's a Blue Ribbons Coalition Award. Basically, our hard work, doing short-term outcomes is what the award was for.
Does that not guarantee the grants to continue?
I don't know.
Good help.
Listen,
It hurts.
and
It can't hurt, for sure.
Has anything been, I haven't noticed anything in the community advocate. We need to have a write-up about that.
About-
Yeah,
Great work
yeah.
that you're doing
Yeah.
here in town.
We should reach out. I know our connection with the community advocate, I think she recently left, so we'll have to find new contact there, but yeah.
I saw it
absolutely.
on LinkedIn, but
Yeah.
the town doesn't be there.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
should be in there.
Should be in it for sure.
Yeah,
We'll stir it up.
Work going on.
there
There's
is.
a lot of work going on behind the scenes. It's actually in front of the scenes. but-
Right, and that's a goal of ours, really, to make it more public.
Yeah,
Public health, it's invisible when it works, so we really need to showcase the good work we're all doing.
Sure.
all right, you want to tell us about, and congratulations again. Would you like to tell us about the accessory dwelling units?
I do not, but I will pass it on to
Okay.
Chris, and, we did include in your packets a little, blurb that Chris,
Oh, okay.
created, so I will pass it on to the expert.
There's a couple board members I haven't met yet. Hi,
Yeah.
I'm Chris. Very nice to meet you. It's
Meet you.
good to meet you. So ADUs have been a hot topic in town lately, so I wanted to just give an update to the board. There's a couple kind of parts of it that we as public health, officials will be involved with, but just a little background is the Healy administration passed the Affordable Homes Act in August last year. And part of it, perhaps the biggest part of that is they made accessory dwelling units a by right initiative for people in residential or single residential zones in towns in Massachusetts. So Northborough had ADU bylaws already, but those have kind of been superseded now by the state guidance. Basically, long story short, is it basically only sets the restrictions at the state level as being the ADUs can only be up to half the square footage of a dwelling or 900 square feet, whichever is smaller. And beyond that, it kind of restricts what towns can put restriction-wise on those ADUs. It leaves the language a bit vague, kind of what's considered a reasonable restriction on the ADUs. What I'm most interested in is Title V is specifically called out in the law as a reasonable restriction. So that's kind of where we kind of come into focus. The two avenues there are our concerns with Title V as well as meeting the state sanitary code, the minimum habitation requirements. Basically, in terms of septic, we're still waiting for guidance from Mass DEP. The law went into effect over a month ago. We're treating it as any other additional bedrooms when looking at a septic plan. Long story short, if your house is on you have a private septic system, it has to have that capacity to accommodate that new living space. Those, on public sewer don't quite have that restriction, but there's certain things in there that we're waiting up for clearance from DEP. For instance, any new system, in a home typically has to be 330 gallons per day of that capacity. One of the avenues, say if you want to build an ADU, if you want to build a second system to accommodate that, one of the questions we need cleared up is, can that system be smaller than what is already set in Title V? Or is it cumulative, or does it still have to be that minimum requirement? These are the questions that are up in the air that we're keeping an eye on. On our level, I know the building department and zoning, they're planning on bringing their proposed regulations to a vote at the annual town meeting. So that will kind of codify our reasonable restrictions. But yeah, and then beyond that, we're interested in, this one's a little more black and white. All these new dwellings we see coming kind of anecdotally, I've seen a lot of them starting to come into town. That kind of owner, occupant relationship, they're still gonna be required to maintain a dwelling that meets those minimum standards of habitation. So that's kind of why I wanted to give you an update, just because our niche in public health kind of intersects with this ongoing, I guess, evolution of housing. So yeah, happy to, answer any questions, anything of that nature.
Are those ADUs, they're gonna require a permit for their septic, which means it's gonna come in front of us.
Potentially. If someone proposing ADU happens to have the capacity, a septic system, they won't have to get a permit. If they have a functioning septic system, that's in good working order, and it happens to have that extra capacity, that's fine.
That's fine.
But potentially,
Well, yeah.
we do have,
Like we had in January, we had that very tight place, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they can't come in and ask us for an ADU.
Exactly.
Right, I mean, we'd have to deny it right off the bat.
Right.
They barely have it for their own home.
exactly.
Let alone for
Yeah.
something additional.
In that case, they have a deed restriction, so they really can't go
Yeah,
beyond that.
exactly.
So
That's okay.
it is a very big limiting factor for people, that
Especially
might be
north.
interested. Absolutely.
A lot of smaller lots and stuff like that, so.
So there's the potential to see a lot of creative solutions going forward, so we look forward to DP's guide, because it's really kind of predicting scenarios. I see a lot of new septic systems coming in where they're kind of accounting for that, though, like we might want to do it later,
Right.
so we're gonna put in a little bit bigger of a system. So, which is good for
But
us.
that's fine,
Yeah. So,
but an existing lots that already have one, they can't,
right,
we're barely squeezing this into a postage stamp size
Totally.
lot. And, the last January one was a classic example of how many things we had to come up with, right? Accommodations to allow it to fit there, that lot was useless.
for sure.
Could you, Chris, put like a bunch of little, like the motels with the little cabins
So, yeah,
all around into one
I believe
system?
I'll
You
be
know what I mean?
interested to see, because that would, be a shared system. In theory, that's totally fine, but as I understand it, I'm sure, I would imagine this will be in the regulations. You can't have more than one per lot, so,
Oh.
but. Yeah.
The little rainbow motel used to be.
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah. That's the lot now.
You absolutely can share a system,
Right.
so long as obviously it meets that
But you really
capacity.
get one in there.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah, but we're
That's
really
interesting.
working with building, so right now there is an ADU permit on
Right, so
Omega.
they're
correct?
making their own ADU permit, so they can kind of better track how many of these are coming into town,
That's
as
right.
well as
Right.
being good for kind of just monitoring, hey, how many in a year are we seeing, so it'll be good to track. Because like I said, anecdotally, just hearing around, it seems to be all the rage, and I get it, with housing prices, the way they are.
Yeah.
This was kind of the mentality with passing the laws that will increase housing stock as like an alternate housing choice, really.
There's a sitcom involved here somewhere, the guy living in the garage,
Totally. And that's why I bring up the housing aspect of it, like, or the minimum requirements habitation wise, is because it sets the stage for interesting dynamic where we have
Yeah.
owners needing to meet these requirements and you live 10 feet away from them. Not that that's unheard of, duplexes and stuff, but it sets the stage for a lot more rentals.
Does the state have a rental limit?
No, not so much.
There's no Northborough, obviously the taxes are high, et cetera, right?
Right.
So, if somebody's gonna put an ADU in there, they may proportionally charge a rent,
Yeah,
same thing, which may or may not be affordable, depending on what your definition
for
is,
sure.
right? Unless the state says, no, that's the maximum you can charge, well, then it's not worth it to the homeowner to put it in,
Right.
you
That's a
know.
good point. I,
Rent control of ADUs
Hey,
already?
no, I'm at, but what's to prevent somebody from charging 2,500 for an ADU?
Market value.
Yeah, if there's no housing available, you figure out where you're gonna go,
That's true.
right? I mean, we saw what was happening out with the rents in California during the fires,
Mm,
you know?
Yeah.
The rate that's not paid to use, but still.
No, there's no
So
rent
it is
control.
a-
I guess their logic is if it increases the inventory, it'll bring prices down. Will to
We'll
be
see.
determined if
We'll
that
see.
would-
Yeah,
I don't count that.
It is a really interesting, when I heard of it, I was like, this is kind of out of surrealism, you know?
I will say, just personally, we built an ADU where I live right north road.
Oh, yeah?
We converted our unused garage to, it's now my living space. It's, so it's
so you
happening.
live and breathe it.
Yeah, I've experienced it, so it was it's kind of funny, because Bob, the building inspector, was like, oh, you guys did a great job. So, no, it's a creative way of using space that's not underutilized, really.
Any other questions?
Right?
How about the community fridge?
So I put that on the agenda for you all to continue to discuss. Michael was sick, so he wasn't able to attend, and I know he's our go-to food guy. So, you know, I just put it on the agenda if you guys want to talk about it more. I know there was some.
Yeah, 3 months ago,
Yes,
there was
yeah.
some discussion on the community fridge about the requirements and monitoring who drops off, who picks up, dating, all that kind of stuff, right? Michael's not here giving us some of those answers, but we had questions due back in November.
Yeah.
It was, so.
What specific questions, and I can take it back to him. I did want to share, if you want to pass one on. I just saw Watertown's community fridge guidelines, and I just, you know, printed it as an example to see, you know, what areas you agree, disagree with. I do think it's a balance of food safety as well as food insecurity. And I think that's, you know, important.
Because there was also another, food pantry there too, right? In the
Yes,
same area.
right. So the food pantry's open 2 days a week. So
And
this
this
is,
is gonna be open.
so it's already
It's
open.
24/7, basically, as if people wanna come in.
Freestanding.
And volunteers do look at it twice a day.
The question was who would be doing like the inspection?
So Michael would do the inspections. It's really just creating some guidelines of what they would allow.
This seems very straightforward. Makes it easy for residents to understand and. It's reasonable.
So this is allowing cooked meals as long as the label is accurate.
The allergens.
Right, right. And definitely Chris and I and Michael have discussed, like, you know, a disclaimer as well that this is, you know, it's out
I
there.
don't know about the cooked meals. Home prepared food.
And who determines the expiration date?
That's a good question, like, yeah, I mean,
That's,
Right? I mean,
I don't like
it's
the
estimated,
home cooked food, I really don't. That's
What
my
about if
opinion.
a restaurant donated?
Yeah,
That's okay?
sure,
because they're gonna have it all
yeah,
marked correctly, right? I mean, a
So you have
private
to be
homeowner. I think.
commercial, but does
Yeah.
it put a liability on them? Are they willing to do that?
Yeah.
Does it open that,
They would have to decide that.
like you said, the
No.
balance between insecurity and,
Mhm.
there's what, best faith effort here?
it's the Wild West. The food doesn't stay in there from what I remember very long.
No,
It's there and then
It
it's
goes
gone.
and no one watches who takes what or anything
Oh,
like that, right? So there's no tracking. So if somebody gets sticky, there's no way of knowing that. Not that hopefully that'll never happen, but.
Yeah, I would think restaurant food, restaurant prepared food would be fine. Meals that are prepared in a grocery store would be fine. I don't agree with the home cooked cookies and all that stuff. I just don't see it. I think, I think that's asking for it, even though people's best intentions. Does the refrigerator get filled up, or is there like a void in there? No, do we know that?
I think it does get filled up, and I think with other, like, you know, grocery store donations as well. I don't think it's all cooked meals. Like when I was there, like there was different bread and produce, so
Yeah.
that type of,
I think I saw like an article on the same thing, and it was the same idea. It wasn't really cooked meals per se, it was mostly the Mediterranean diet.
Fridge, or they have shelving for like cereal and canned
There is
goods
some
and
shelving.
pasta.
Oh, really?
There's shelving for that kind of stuff. We have the non-perishable stuff, right? So people can put that stuff on the shelves. Refrigerator means literally refrigerated foods, right?
Of, I think, the fruits and vegetables.
right.
Do we have like a soup, or what do you call that?
Soup kitchen.
Soup kitchen.
Do we have one?
One of the churches does a community meals.
Okay.
It's the one right here.
Yeah.
Open Street.
I think it's weekly.
This is a super category. It really is.
It is.
So no home cooked meals would be a way to say it.
That's what I think.
I see your rationale, and I don't disagree with it,
No,
just looking for the balance. But I mean, I understand where you're coming from. And want
you just don't know who's cooking what.
I think the restaurants and the grocery stores are more in tune to labeling their
Labeling and with
products.
allergens and.
correctly. Unless you're having a home run business with this kind of stuff, you
Right.
don't even have any idea what to put on there. And then you're estimating the expiration date, which is never a good idea.
But it still opens up a lot of supplies. I don't think it limits what's coming through there, although I'm speaking for them here. I don't know how many people are personally donating to the food pantry, anything that's home cooked. So without knowing that, I don't know how much that would cut into what people are expecting, but a lot of non-perishables and grocery store
It'd be
items.
kind of nice to know
options.
But
what
this is
percentage
just the
from
fridge.
professional places versus what's from private homes, right, in the fridge. So if it's 50-50, then
Yeah, I can definitely try to get that.
if
And
it's
Yeah.
And if we start getting phone calls, I want to cook and donate, we can, try to get an estimate of how many phone calls we are getting from private cooks who are interested in donating.
So you can put the chicken, you can put the ragu, and you can put the cheese, but you can't put them all together and put them in. Basically.
you can create a packet.
Yeah, you
You
can
need all these
create
three
one.
things to make your own stuff, kind of thing. But anyways,
Again. think
So I
we-
will try to get some more information about the type and number of meals coming in. I will have Michael draft some, these are just guidelines, for the next meeting.
Yeah,
Sounds like a great start.
that'd be great, thank you.
and we're gonna move the fridge over to Chris's house.
Please do. I don't.
Oh, no, wait a minute.
Say,
Yeah,
no.
That's good. Now, what do we have on the, any questions, concerns? I think we got through that. We got January 14th minutes.
Are we able to do that? Two of us are here, 2 out of the 3 are here, are we able to do that?
thought we had asked.
We can do even 2 out of 3, we have a majority here, so Lisa and I were here.
Yeah, people were here.
Okay.
I read them very thorough.
I didn't notice any errors. If anyone's gonna catch it, it's going to be.
So I have
So
a
good.
question.
Yeah.
Typically, if I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, that when we, with the variances that somebody comes in and asks, will we actually spell them out for the meeting as opposed to approve the various ones? There's no, I think it was like 5 or 6 on here that we had to approve.
This specific
Yeah,
variant.
the specific variances, right?
The hillside road, yes, they're normally listed.
So I would say that that has to be added to the minutes. That's.
Yeah, that's
I told them, that's why I said, wait a minute,
Yeah, what are
where are they, right? And, because this is public knowledge, that stuff is not,
Right.
right? So I think it should be on
I will have just
they?
add.
Yeah,
I'll get the language to those.
Perfect, thank you.
Other than that, I found it was fine.
okay. We want to make a motion.
Sure.
to approve it.
So I make a motion that we approve the minutes for the Board of Health, Town of North Grove, meeting minutes, Tuesday, January 14th, 2025, as written, except for that additions, addendum that I said,
As amended.
as amended. Thank you.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Very well.
Perfect.
Right? Any other business to come before the board?
Oh, so there's a summer internship program.
Yes, actually, oh, good.
What's
You,
that?
you reminded me. So we, for the last 3 years, we've had a Department of Public Health summer intern. So we actually, last time we talked a lot about, social media and mental health. So I had drafted, with the help of Michaela, we drafted an intern description and we were accepted. So we haven't been, matched with the intern, but our program or description has been accepted. So hopefully, this summer we have either a grad intern, or I think it could be like a senior undergrad.
Senior undergrad, so not younger than that, not.
No, but we are working actually with the career services at Algonquin, so we might actually have a high school intern as well. So doing a slightly different project, it's a lot shorter as well.
This is not paid or stipend.
The high school one, they get credit,
Mhm.
and the DPH one, the state actually pays them.
Oh, it does,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
We'll have somebody in mind that she can't find something else.
Yeah.
For over here.
Absolutely.
It's our dance instructor's daughter. She's a sophomore at Carnegie Mellon.
I know.
You know, Z.
Okay. But yeah, I can send you the internship application.
Corporate internships go with January.
Yes, yes.
You're late in March.
Yeah, but yeah, so really, we love internships and mentoring, so
Sure.
those will be 2 upcoming. And they can work on special projects that sometimes we don't have capacity to do.
And okay, let's think for a little bit.
Yes, exactly.
That office of yours is getting very,
I know, we're
Full
all,
up
we're
there.
all over the place.
We make it work.
Yeah, we do.
is everybody located?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Upstairs.
We have, so kind of where, health and building, so we have Chris and Michael over there. Then across or down the hall, we have all of our other staff, and then we have nursing in the basement where we used to do like COVID testing.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Also, we're in 3 different spots.
Yeah.
They don't think the department's those listening important enough to have our own space. They enough to accommodate everybody.
Taking over the building.
There's
Well,
not
like-
enough space. Space is a barrier, but I don't think that hinders our collaboration.
So, I'm sure you guys.
Strategic. Because it's different areas and then we're gonna just,
We make it work.
So with Caitlin, we're complete.
Yes, we may look for a full-time public health nurse, but we have to balance the budgets for the grants.
We created 80.
Do you think Bill Caitlin start needing more help?
We need more.
That's not in the budget for now, but we will track data and we'll see what that brings.
it's like a tiny house. You know, tiny houses.
900 square foot is big enough for the team.
Absolutely. Got a lot of cubicles in 9 square feet.
I think that's it for me, though. Any
That's it.
questions from you?
Any restaurant news? I know, Michael isn't here, but.
No new restaurants, as far as I'm aware.
That's what Casa Vallarta has
Yeah.
$1 million to.
Yeah, I remember when they,
No,
that
that
was
was
a
a
disaster.
more
What are they
ways
gonna
than
do with
one.
that?
$1 million.
It was them and the place next door, wasn't it, the
The
hotel?
hotel's being taken over by Hyatt now.
Right.
Hyatt, yeah, one of those.
Wasn't it like somehow connected, the two of them, or no?
I don't know if they were
think so.
shared. I don't think
Not
so.
shared.
No, I don't think they were shared. It was just
I
separate.
think it's just the parking lot.
Yeah.
Cause I know things right underneath them.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised somebody could tears down that place and does something.
Casa
They need a
Vallarta,
lot of this.
$1 million,
Just for the septic system.
just for the service.
Yeah.
After we saw those pictures, it was.
Yeah, yes. I have those in my mind.
Yes.
Crazy place.
Mm,
Anything else? Anything?
Not from this side of
No,
the table.
good.
All good.
Everybody good?
All good.
I think we're good. All
All right,
right,
next meeting, April 8th.
all right.
Jess will make sure we have quorum beforehand. It seems so far away.
Quick thing.
Who does?
Anyway, that sounds good.
Yeah. Anyway. All right, then, if that's the case, I'm gonna move that we adjourn this meeting at 6:40.
Yes, I think you broke your record.
I did,
Big time.
except for that one day, it was just
Yeah.
Keep it
Does someone
nice
want
and
to second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.